Hi guys, so I am here to do a review over episode 4 of Loki. I'm going to do a spoiler video. I'm not going to have an on-spoiler section for this video because, but at this point in time, I would assume if you're here, you watched the rest of the show. So, I'm just going to have spoilers for the show, in this video. So I'm gonna do spoilers. So if you haven't watched the show, completely understand. Go watch the show and then come back. So I'm gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go. I personally love this episode. I think this episode had so many new amazing things. I love Loki as usual, and Mobius is great. He dies in this episode. I don't believe that he's actually dead. That's part of me being like, no, he can't actually be dead, because I don't think I can, that would make me really sad. But also part of me is like, it's Marvel. He's not actually dead. So I hope he's not actually dead. But he died. But Loki died with the spear fire things, and that makes them turn to ash and takes them to another place, I guess. And he met the new Lokis. He met other Loki variants. And I'm so excited to see what they bring with that. I'm so excited. And then Sylvie was her wonderful self. I love Sylvie. I think she's great. And her friendship with Loki in this episode was so good. So good. And I just loved it. They weren't together very much, but they talked about each other, and you can tell that they actually really do care for each other, and it's so sweet. It's so sweet. And then Mobius finding out basically my whole entire life has been a lie. The TVA. The timekeepers didn't make me, and the timekeepers are robots. I was expecting them not to actually be lizard people, but robots was really cool to see, and how when he cut off his head, he was laughing, was scary. I was like, oh, okay. And and how they're all variants. Everyone is a variant, which is so cool, and how they're all in denial, but then they're when Sylvie shows that one girl her past, and she starts crying, that scene was acted so well. She is such a phenomenal actor, and I can't wait to see what they do with her character, because she's so good. When she came in, and I was like, oh yes, I'm so excited to see more of you, because I love her. We haven't really seen a lot of her, and I already love her. Sylvie and Mobius, hopefully, if he's not actually dead, and Loki and her will be such a great pair. They'll be so good. Yeah. This was such a great episode. What else should I talk about? Oh, seeing Ziv was really great. Although she's not my favorite character from Thor, I think she's kind of forgettable. It was nice to see her again. And she worked really well for the part, and how Loki was like, I'm a narcissist and I need attention, and she was like, so I don't feel like I'm alone, and she'll be like, you will always be alone, or something along those lines. And it was so heartbreaking. Loki, you deserve some friends, and if that actually is something that happened, and he, no wonder he became the person he was, if people were telling him things like that. It's just kind of sad. What else should I talk about? Just the TVA in general is, I said the first episode, I was like, there's something wrong here, and there is. There's something going on. and we find out more about the variants and things like that, and we have 2 more episodes, so I can't wait to see what they do, because I think we're gonna like tear this place to shreds, and they're gonna be like this and this and this and this and this, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. And I'm so excited to see all the different Loki variants, because we saw them and I was like jumping up and down, being like, oh my goodness, yay! Because it's just so much fun. It's so much fun. So much fun. I love them. I love them. Sylvie and Loki, they're hinting. I really hope they don't go with this. If they did, it would just be kind of weird. But like, they're hinting that they have feelings for each other, and that's kind of weird because they're kind of the same person, just with different lives. So it's kind of weird. I hope they just stay friends, and I hope it could go either way. I really think they're going towards more of the friends aspect, because I think they know that that's kind of weird, but I don't know. But the ending is so good. This ending was like, once again, a great cliffhanger. Marvel does great with their cliffhangers. Drives me absolutely batty, but they do great. So like the Raritan verse, he does great with his cliffhangers. Like Mark of Athena, anyone? But I'm not talking about Percy Jackson right now. But yeah, it's so much fun. I am loving this series so much. I think this series is so chaotic and it's so much fun, and everything, like, there are some things I'm like, yep, I thought that would happen, but a lot of it I'm like, oh, we're going here and then we're going here, what's going on? Like, Sylvie was not expecting that at all, and all these other Loki variants, and I can't wait to see how this goes in with the MCU. Because this has to go into the MCU somehow, and if maybe we'll be able to have a Loki Thor reunion, because I want that with Infinity War. I want that. Even if it is Loki TV series, meaning Thor, I still want that. I want that. So I really hope he goes into the movies, because like, you all know, I love Loki. Even before this show, I loved Loki. You all know this. So, yeah. What else did I enjoy about the series? I really am liking how they're all finding out more and more stuff about the TVA and how it's really not a very good place, and I think we're gonna find out, like, they're gonna like change a lot about it, and hopefully Mobius comes back, because I really want him to come back, because I liked him a lot, and then he just died, kind of like Lamar from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's spoilers. Oops. It's not that big of a spoiler, so I didn't really tell you the big spoiler. But yeah, I liked him too, and he died, and that was sad. So hopefully it's not like, hopefully he comes back, because I really want him to come back. Just overall, I think this is a great show. I think everything about the show is so good. My favorite part of this show is definitely Loki and Sylvie's friendship. I think it's so fun, so chaotic, and just Loki and Sylvie in general are just such good characters. I love Sylvie. She is. Loki and Sylvie are my 2 favorite characters in the whole entire show, so I'm like, yes, you are great. And everything with the timekeepers and getting more of like, oh, they're actually robots, which I was kind of expecting, but it was still a really cool scene. And then the fight scene after it, where like they cut his head down and he goes, wah, and then they all fight, and then like Loki gets disintegrated, and it's so sad. And then, but after that, you find out that he's like, he might die, but he has these other Loki variants to help him. I know I keep talking about that, but it's so good. And that fight scene was so great. Like, it was so good. And everything about that fight scene was so much fun. It was just choreographed so well. I love the fight scenes in this show, and they were just done so well. The characters are so funny. Mobius in this episode was so funny, and how he was like, we've had vampires, we've had Kree, we've had all of these other things, and how is it that we have 2 demigods, and that's the hardest part. Like, that's the hardest thing we ever had to deal with, and that is so good. It's so good. And yeah, so and Mobius was just so funny in this episode also. Everyone was really funny. It was nice to see all the characters this week again, and I can't wait for the next episode. I really hope that it's as great as I think it's gonna be, and then the finale I think is gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. But I'm not gonna talk about the finale yet because it hasn't even come out yet. So that's really all my thoughts are. Normally, my normal thoughts, I thought it was great. I think I highly recommend the show. I highly recommend the show. If you've not watched this show yet and you like Marvel, I highly recommend it. If you like mythology, I highly recommend it. Because like Loki's mythology, so it's more MCU kind of stuff, so it's not actual mythology, but still Loki. Like, I'm a person who loves mythology also, so it's just kind of nice to be like Magnus Chase and then Loki from MCU, so it's just kind of fun. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I love you 3000 and stay safe. Bye!